जाहिर तौर पे जो काम करेंगे उन्हीं को जनता वोट देगी।
पढ़ाई लिखाई वाली पार्टी को वोट देंगे, लड़ाई वाली पार्टी को। ये निशान नहीं है, ये आपके भविष्य पर लगने वाला टिक मार्क है।
आपने अभी मुझे बोला कि आपके सीनियर ऑफिसर को बुलाए और उनके बाद सीनियर ऑफिसर आप वोटिंग को यहाँ पे प्रभावित करने के लिए सुबह से लगे हुए हैं। सुबह आप लोगों ने बोला कि हम हटवा रहे हैं, फिर आपने वहां पे जो है बैरिकेडिंग कर दी।
चुनाव नहीं है, ये धर्म युद्ध है, ये अच्छाई और बुराई की लड़ाई है।
मैं यमुना माँ से आशीर्वाद लेने आया हूँ कि हमें आशीर्वाद देना माँ। यहाँ पर दिल्ली में एक अच्छी सरकार बनाइएगा ताकि हम आपको साफ कर सकें।
Hello and welcome. You're watching Times Now's Delhi election coverage on India's election news headquarters. In fact, there's going to be a 90-minute countdown to the completion of voting, of course, in 60 minutes. And within 90 minutes, we'll be able to reveal to you the numbers as far as the poll of polls that we're going to be bringing to you here on Times Now. What are the various exit polls saying as far as the future of Delhi is concerned? Will the Aam Aadmi Party continue to hold sway, or will there be the challenger, the BJP, or even perhaps the Congress party, which will have a different result, something that has not been seen in the past several elections? Now, let's quickly take you through what exactly is happening as far as these last 2 hours of voting are concerned. In fact, last hour of voting, we have seen at 4 p.m. In fact, the turnout recorded was 46.55% voter turnout recorded. In fact, that was till 3 p.m. is what we've been told. In fact, Northeast Delhi has witnessed significantly higher turnout than the total average turnout, which is, of course, at 52.73%. The seat of Mustafabad, where the Muslim vote plays a decider, from where the AIMM has fielded controversial Delhi riots accused Tahir Hussain, has recorded the highest turnout of 56.12%. Turnout in New Delhi district, which has 6 key seats, was at 43.10% till 3 p.m. And amongst these seats that saw low turnout today was the seat of Karol Bagh in central Delhi. The turnout here was at 39.05%. This time BJP has fielded Dushyant Gautam from Karol Bagh. He's contesting against Aam Aadmi Party's Vishesh Ravi. Vishesh Ravi had won this seat with 67,494 votes in the 2020 assembly polls. Over to my colleague Hina Gambhir now.
Well, absolutely. What an interesting day, viewers. It has really been. 1.5 crore plus voters of the national capital are out there participating in this festival of democracy and will be deciding who is going to rule Delhi over the next 5 years. So far, Delhiites, the voter turnout has been much low as compared to the last assembly elections in 2020. So please go out and vote in large numbers, because your decision today is going to decide what your future, how your Delhi is going to look like over the next 5 years. And viewers, in the first electoral test of 2025, there are over 1.5 crore voters that are going to decide whether Aam Aadmi Party will secure a third consecutive full term, or will the BJP break a 27-year drought. Remember, the last time the BJP was in power in the year 1998, and since then it became a bastion of the Congress, and then came the Aam Aadmi Party, which took away, Delhi from the Congress party's domain. In fact, can it really spring a surprise this time? That's going to be very interesting. And let's also go across to our reporters, our colleagues who've been tracking it very, very closely. Madhav, before we welcome our guest this evening, who will be decoding with us some big numbers over the next 60 minutes, we have Isha joining us live. She's live from Mustafabad.
Okay, I think, before we go across to our reporters, Isha, Hina, Pradeep, in fact, we have Tejshri also and Priyank joining us. We're going to get down to them because it's been a very, very heated election. A lot of charges and counter charges. Let's first take a look at what are the political reactions coming in before we cut across to our reporters.
सब लोग वोट डालने के लिए निकलें, अपने अपने वोट का अधिकार इस्तेमाल करें। अच्छे स्कूल बनाने के लिए, अच्छे मोहल्ला क्लिनिक बनाने के लिए, अच्छा इलाज के लिए, अस्पतालों के लिए, दिल्ली के विकास के लिए वोट डालें सब लोग।
जहाँ जहाँ मैं जाती हूँ लोग कह रहे हैं कि पानी की सुविधा ठीक नहीं है, सड़कों की सुविधा ठीक नहीं है, पोल्यूशन इतना ज्यादा हो रहा है, तमाम समस्याएं, इनका हल करना है तो आइए, बाहर आइए, वोट डालिए।
See, I am a great believer in democracy. They have the maturity to decide what is good for them, and what is good for them is that we need change.
All right, let's go across to our reporters now joining us. As we mentioned earlier, we have Isha joining us from Mustafabad. Pradeep Datta is joining us live from Karol Bagh. Tejshri is live from New Delhi constituency where, in fact, Arvind Kejriwal is contesting. Priyank is live from the Delhi police headquarters. Let me start first with Isha. Isha, we've seen the Aam Aadmi Party come out and make several charges. They've been alleging irregularities in multiple manners in terms of the poll management. Whether, in fact, the polling officers have been given relievers or not is something that even Arvind Kejriwal tweeted about. But many of these charges have been either countered by the Delhi police or the concerned district election officers. Take us through quickly what we've been seeing in Mustafabad today.
Right, absolutely. So, since the last couple of days, the Aam Aadmi Party has come out all guns blazing at the BJP and also the Delhi police. They have been stating that the Delhi police is acting at the behest of the Bharatiya Janata Party, and this shows that the BJP is insecure. Currently, we are reporting from Mustafabad, which has seen an unprecedented voter turnout, and that is much more than what the other areas of the national capital has seen. But showing you around here the visuals which do explain the state at Mustafabad. This is a market area in Mustafabad. This is a popular area, and you can see the number of people who are still queuing up to cast their votes. In fact, this is a constituency which has, the AIMIM has fielded Tahir Hussain, who is currently lodged in the Tihar jail, but was granted custody parole. In fact, he also came out and attacked the BJP, stating that this is the BJP's politics and he is not getting enough time to campaign. In fact, yes, definitely the campaign has been very heated since the last few months. But here, as of now that we speak, these are booths of all political parties that have been placed here. That is AIMIM, Congress, BJP, and other independent candidates as well. But from BJP, the candidate here is Mohan Singh Bisht, who used to be, who is the sitting MLA of Karawal Nagar, and he has now been shifted here. In fact, opposition parties.
All right, we'll come back to you, Isha, for more on what's happening on ground. Let me quickly bring in Pradeep Datta as well. Pradeep, you've been reporting on ground as well, and we've been seeing how, in fact, there's been a bid to counter all that has been put out in terms of charges and counter charges from different political parties by the polling authorities. Quickly take us through what's been happening in Karol Bagh.
So if we talk about this Karol Bagh constituency, you rightly said that this is one constituency in central Delhi which has seen the less number of voting as compared to the other parts of Delhi region. Out of the 70 seats, if we talk about this particular constituency, it has been only 36%, and that's a very less percentage. The reason being, I had been interacting with the people. They are saying that there is a competition between the BJP and Aam Aadmi Party. If you take a look at the candidate from Aam Aadmi Party, that is the Vishesh Pal, and he is the one who they say had won the elections earlier also twice from the same region. And so far as the BJP candidate is concerned, they are saying that he is an outsider. That's one of the reasons that the people may not be looking for the change. That's one of the reasons that only the devoted cadre had really come out to vote. And that's one of the reasons that the voting percentage here in this region is less. If we look at the case in Mustafabad, because people really wanted a kind of a change, and that's one of the reasons that more and more people had been coming out and voting. And otherwise also in the Muslim areas, that has been the trend that has been seen during the last 2 decades. More of the Muslim voters, they really come out. But here in this region, the people say that...
Let's quickly, in fact, introduce our guest now, Pradeep. I'm going to request Tejshri and Priyank to also stay on with us. Let's quickly introduce our panel. With us is Devishri Shriram, political strategist and commentator. Tushar Gupta is with us, political analyst. Shekhar Iyer is a senior journalist joining us. Tehseen, in fact, is going to be joining us in a short while from now. We have Saba Naqvi, senior journalist with us, as well as Vivek Srivastav, political analyst joining us. And also, of course, our guest joining us from outside are Gaurav Chachra, national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Neoma Gupta is spokesperson of the BJP. We have Prithvi Reddy, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, also joining us at the same time. Hina, very quickly take us through what exactly does this election mean? Break this down for our viewers about the first points in terms of what we've been seeing happening today as far as the poll management, the complaints and counter complaints coming in from various political parties and the clarifications that have been given by the authorities.
Well, absolutely. We'll come to, the controversies in just a bit, Madhav. But first, let's tell our viewers a little bit about why this particular battle is nothing short of a battle royale for three political parties. We're going to quickly tell our viewers what's really at stake for all three political parties, and then we'll talk about the big controversies. For the Aam Aadmi Party, the retention of stronghold Delhi, it is very important for its national ambitions as well, because if Aam Aadmi Party loses Delhi, then what happens to Aam Aadmi Party as a political party in the INDI bloc and its national ambitions? For the BJP, it is a prestige battle. It is important because of the recent victories in Maharashtra, Haryana. It wants to continue that winning streak in Delhi also, and it also aims to break the 27-year-long drought. Remember, last time it was in power in Delhi was in 1998. Then for the Congress party, it is a fight for survival as far as Rahul Gandhi's leadership is concerned, not just within the grand old party, but within the INDIA bloc too. For the Aam Aadmi Party, this battle is important because it will be a validation of the governance model. Remember, Aam Aadmi Party has repeatedly spoken about how it is better than others. It is a better alternative for Delhi because of its governance model, its education system and its effective health policies. BJP wants to establish dominance in Delhi because even though Delhi is small in size, as far as the influence is concerned, Delhi has got a huge influence across India. For Congress, it's going to be a test of Rahul Gandhi's leadership. And lastly, as I mentioned, national ambitions of the Aam Aadmi Party will depend a lot on what happens on 8th of February. For the BJP, serious dent to the national ambitions of AAP, and for Congress, it needs to shed the liability tag for all allies, which it currently carries. So, these are some of the issues that are important for all three political parties, and that's the reason why it becomes extremely important.
Absolutely. Let me quickly go across to our guests now. Let me start with you first. JVC, one big X factor that everyone has overlooked in these polls.
One big X factor that they've overlooked is that the shift of Valmiki votes from AAP towards BJP. It is extremely visible in the streets, in the JJ clusters, that the Valmiki votes have moved, and Valmikis form 23% of the scheduled caste. And this is a very extremely important one. Another one is the movement of the Jat votes. Cross the Haryana border and go there. You will have a lot of anti-BJP rhetoric being said. But you come inside Narela and it looks like different altogether. So the Jats are moving in big droves towards BJP. Valmiki is moving in big droves towards BJP.
Okay.
And that's going to be the factor which we need to look at.
Okay, quick round of opening comments, Tushar. What really is going to be something that's working on? Because it's very complex. You listen to AAP, you listen to BJP, you listen to Congress, which was in the race, then bowed out, then came back into the race. What really is happening in the national capital in your view?
Madhav, the first party to start campaigning in Delhi for the assembly elections was not the Aam Aadmi Party, not the BJP. It was the Congress. Irony is that after the Lok Sabha elections, it was the Congress aspirants that were putting up their hoardings everywhere. They had forgotten all about the alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party in the Lok Sabha elections, Haryana elections. I think the way that has destroyed the Congress, its spirit, its entire comeback narrative after the Lok Sabha, that is what is hurting Congress right now in Delhi. And as for the Aam Aadmi Party, I think in 2020, people overestimated the mandate, not by virtue of the seats they got, but by the virtue of vote share. BJP was the only party in 2020 to increase their vote share. And BJP, if it has to win in 2025, must capitalize on that increase in vote share in the specific seats. Let's see if they have done it.
All right, Shekhar Iyer, what are you wagering your bets on, and what is going to be the big factor on ground in Delhi? Is it going to be different from the last three elections?
No, definitely it is going to be different. The middle class this time, which was always with Arvind Kejriwal, are looking at other options. So I would say the X factor is the middle class, not just because of income tax exemptions. I think for a long time they are tired of the governance, particularly the civic governance. And Delhi is a place where whether it's a corporation election, municipal corporation election, Lok Sabha election, assembly election, the issues are civic issues. And AAP is now controlling the municipal corporation of Delhi after a long period when BJP was accused of total, lack of governance. But they haven't seen any difference in Delhi, despite AAP taking over the municipality. Therefore, I think people are looking for change, and I see among the particular, and when I say middle class, it's a large class. In Delhi, you know, everybody is a middle class, if you leave aside those who are stuck in slums. So I think there is a earning for change.
Is that a fair assessment, Sava? Those who are in the middle class versus those who are stuck in slums, as he's saying? Because there are those who are
I would use
bring out that.
I never disagree with my friend and colleague Shekhar Iyer, but I would phrase it differently. I think what we are going to see in this election is, first of all, the BJP has fought this election differently to 2020. There was no overt Hindutva. They have fought it on the ground. There is huge cadre mobilization. They have, it's a seat by seat election. What can happen in this election? Certainly, the AAP had wave elections. The last two, we would all remember that. They were wave. They were winning with waves. And this time, the wave, but it's seat by seat management. Now, the minute you go to the settlements of poorer people, there is a lot of caginess in revelation also. Do not believe what is said in front of cameras. There is a lot of caginess. But I do believe that a section of the AAP's vote could be drifting downwards. A section of the BJP can. Will we see a situation where both will have vote percentage in the 40%? AAP is 54%, BJP was 39%. Will one go up? Will the other come down? The Congress, certainly in certain seats, they have put up decent candidates. Their vote share, I suspect, could double. Maybe they'll win one seat or something, because one can't go everywhere. But it has become a contest. So the BJP's own planners think they're safe in 20 and that they can manage with a contest in 20 more. AAP thinks that they are safe between 40 to 55. So it's all happening in between here. So, but there is certainly disillusionment in one side, but there is also loyalty of the very poor. And I think the middle class, I don't think there's one middle class. Some people do still benefit from the free electricity. There is a constituency. I don't want to get into this for the school.
I just have one question before we go across to...
But you know, in terms of being safe, how many seats is Congress safe on in Delhi?
I do think more than safe for Congress winning, I think for Congress it is keeping the organization alive. Because a third time if the Congress loses the election and loses badly and gets a third zero as Tushar is showing, the problem is that the Congress will become what happened to the Congress in Uttar Pradesh, Odisha, etc. The organization won't revive. So I think more than anything, it is the fight of the organization more than the seats. And I'll be honest with you, Madhav, and be honest you and Hina. If Congress gets, say, 5 seats, won't you guys say it's a revival? What is 5 seats in 70? It actually means nothing.
But it's not you guys within striking distance of coming to power.
I totally 0 to 5, definitely it will be a revival, just like we had 99 as a celebration that happened during the Lok Sabha election.
I'll tell you what I'll say, what she said. I'll just answer that.
It's just a genuine question.
Sure.
At what vote share of the Congress are the EVMs working fine? Just for the curiosity of our audience.
You know, the question on the EVM now, the opposition parties will have to drop it, or the opposition parties will have to say, look, what's going to happen is we're going to have 100% VVPAT tallying, which is not bad, and maybe in one odd constituency ballot, so it tallies. Beyond that, we don't go beyond it. You cannot say when we win EVMs are good, because the credibility is going, and then when you're in state government, don't do anything about it. So which state government has passed a law that in that state it will only be with ballot, and of course the governor won't sign it and gone to Supreme Court. So you can't play it both fields. Okay, beginning you did it, you raised those topics. You got to now fight.
Quickly, Vivek hasn't spoken yet. Quick opening comments. National issues, local issues, state issues, municipal issues.
RSS what's going to be on the voters' mind? RSS on the ground, record number of meetings. I am seeing it in every Vidhan Sabha, every corporation. No, I have not.
What has happened to Vivek Srivastava?
I have not.
No, Tehseen is going to flip sides. You are not going to flip sides.
I have not flipped sides.
You've done a lot of acrobatics recently, but yeah.
However, so I mean, it's not that going back to the Purvanchali votes that they tried with Manoj Tiwari. That failed. All the Bhojpuri songs failed. So now, yes, I agree with the JVC that the Jat and the Gujar votes are very strongly with the BJP. However,
he said Jat.
Yeah, but I'm adding Gujar because I mean the leaders and Gujar also, right? And Kuldeep Rana, you have Parvesh Verma, the entire younger brigade which Sahib Singh Verma created is in action over there for the BJP. But the JJ colonies, the Purvanchali voters, the lower middle class is staunchly with Arvind Kejriwal. They have not moved out at all.
okay, and all those free buys are actually working. They believe that he's their man. It is there. Congress is reviving. Their president, he is a very vibrant man. I have met him twice or thrice. I won't say that before 6:30. But yes, if even a few seats in single digits come for the Congress is back in action.
Okay.
All right. About it.
My question to the entire panel here, will Congress get 10% vote share? I think not.
Okay, that's a big question. Yeah, I'm going to come. Once coming to each of you, we have some more updates coming in, I believe. Hina.
Well, absolutely. Like we said earlier that, there were a lot of controversies as well this election season in the national capital. In fact, on the eve of elections also, we saw a lot of controversies from Selampur to Jangpura to Chirag Delhi. The charges flew thick and fast. Let's get you a lowdown of the top 5 controversies of the day. And I want to begin with, the first controversy, and the charge was fake voters. Now, remember, we've heard this many a times ahead of the elections, ahead of this D-Day in Delhi. BJP this time had accused the Aam Aadmi Party of facilitating fake voters in Selampur. Look at these visuals. Then we had Manish Sisodia, whose charge was cash for votes. Manish Sisodia of the Aam Aadmi Party had claimed that cash for votes is happening in the Jangpura seat. It didn't end there. We had Saurabh Bharadwaj, another Aam Aadmi Party neta, accusing the Delhi cops of blocking the voters. Later, Delhi cops, of course, gave a clarification that, for specially abled and for elderly, there were no barricades, and in fact they were allowed to go take their vehicles. Then the fourth controversy was about the Gundagardi or the hooliganism charge, and this one came from none other than Sanjay Singh, who claimed hooliganism and violation that's happening at the behest of the BJP workers. And lastly, the biggest controversy that we saw on the eve of the Delhi elections was 5 lakh cash seizure. 5 lakh in cash was recovered from the man working allegedly in Atishi's office. Now, this is something that the EC is also looking at, but, this is going to be an important aspect as well, because how will it really impact the voters? That remains to be seen. And Shekhar Iyer, I want to ask you a little bit about the kind of impact, these kind of controversies could really have on the voters' minds, because we've had things like Zehar ki Rajniti, poison politics. Also, we have seen, what do you think could really have an impact on the voters? Can it, sway the voters to other political parties given these kind of controversies?
Well, these charges are always taken with a lot of salt by people of Delhi. They have seen this before. But at the same time, they do realize that the politicians and the political parties, whatever they have been claiming that they are no longer, they can, for instance, look at the corruption as an issue. Now, this is an issue which is now afflicting all the 3 parties. And since Aam Aadmi Party is in power, and what they have seen in the last couple of 2 years, so corruption is no longer their plus point. So if you go back to 2020, Arvind Kejriwal had a lot of things to show on the ground. We talked about schools, we talked about Mohalla clinics, at least the beginning of the Mohalla clinics. There were a lot of other things. But today what we have seen is, since Arvind Kejriwal himself did not concentrate on governance in Delhi, and he was busy in expansion, and that ambition gave rise to all kinds of things, including their excise policy, which turned out to be a big scam. So therefore, today, Aam Aadmi Party is on the defensive about its own record the last 5 years. That's why Kejriwal himself, listed 3 things I could not do this time, I'm going to do it next time. So give me a chance again.
But which is the lesser evil is the question.
Okay.
Look, I'll tell you, I think from a Congress point of view, where the Congress was sort of in a paradox is, if the Congress revives, does the BJP win? And I think a lot of the common voters between Aam Aadmi Party and the Congress would put that as a consideration.
How does let me bring in the Aam Aadmi Party. Let me bring in the Aam Aadmi Party on that. At the end of the day, when we're talking about the Aam Aadmi Party, Prithvi Reddy, there are charges that you have certainly read and your leaders have made against what they're called use of cash, use of unfair means, so on and so forth. But there are similar charges against, for instance, Atishi's own man, which has been reported as well. What do you have to say about this? Which way will these issues work on ground?
Elections in 2020 for Delhi Assembly were also very vicious, but this was largely rhetoric. This time we have seen right through the campaign a very physical election. It was not just with the Aam Aadmi Party cadre. Even the journalists were attacked, and the Delhi police has been a mute spectator. Today, through the day, we have seen voter suppression. Over the past 2 days, we have brought to the attention of the Election Commission that a lot of voters' hands were already marked and their election cards were taken away. This could be one of the reasons for lower voter turnout. We have seen through the day that voters have not been allowed, or there's a very intimidating atmosphere outside polling booths.
Okay, is there an intimidating atmosphere or not? Let's quickly go across to our reporters who are with us on ground. Priyank, Aam Aadmi Party is saying that there is an intimidatory atmosphere. What's the Delhi police having to say as far as all of these charges on ground are concerned?
See, Madhav, it has been the last 48 hours was also tough for the Delhi police media management also, because Aam Aadmi Party is contesting election is straight away going towards the allegation against the police, because till the time police was in the hand of the Home Ministry, before the model code of conduct came, allegations were put in on the Home Minister, and then later on they shifted the onus on the Election Commission. For the last 48 hours till wee hours in the morning, we have been cross-checking the fact that most of the allegations which has come up either from the BJP side or from the Aam Aadmi Party side, the Delhi police came up with a denial. But there were few incidences where the Delhi police ended up filing the FIR against the Aam Aadmi Party, and only NCR, which is a non-cognizable report against the Bharatiya Janata Party, which added more fuel to the fire. Just a short while back, there was allegation of vandalism, arsoning, which has been denied by the Delhi police so far. But what Delhi police has been saying that we have been working on the guidelines of the ECI, and we are bound to do that.
Right. Priyank, thank you for that quick update. Let me now go across to Tejri as well, who's live with us right now from the New Delhi constituency. Viewers, remember, it is the seat from where you have Arvind Kejriwal versus Sandeep Dikshit versus Parvesh Sahib Singh. Now, Tejri, over to you. Tell us a little bit about the voter turnout so far. What were the key issues for the people that you interacted with?
Well, absolutely. As far as New Delhi constituency is concerned, it is certainly a high battle. In fact, not just because it is the seat of Arvind Kejriwal, but in front of the former chief minister is the other son of former chief minister. One is Sandeep Dikshit and the other is Parvesh Verma. But as of now, I am being joined by two voters. In fact, we'll speak to them straight away. What are the issues? इस बार आपने क्या issues को ध्यान में रखते हुए वोट किया है?
मैंने इस टाइम ये देखा है कि जो महिलाओं के फेवर में है, और जिसके लिए मैंने आम आदमी पार्टी।
आपको लगता है कि महिलाओं के फेवर में जो पार्टी आपने उनके लिए वोट किया है? आप फर्स्ट टाइम वोटर है, आपको क्या लग रहा है, क्या इश्यूज रहे आपके मेन?
इश्यूज तो ये रहे हैं कि वैसे इश्यूज कुछ है नहीं, पर मैं ये सोच रही हूँ कि केजरीवाल।
आपको क्या लग रहा है कि क्या लगता है आपको कि काम हुआ है नई दिल्ली में, नहीं हुआ है?
All right. In fact, actually speaking to some reporters, some voters there, I beg your pardon, in the New Delhi constituency. We're going to take a very quick break. We'll be back with more news, most aspects as far as analysis is concerned, and breaking down what does this Delhi election really mean? What are the key factors at play? Some of the factors that we'll be revealing to you in just a few minutes. Stay with us. Welcome back to Mandate 2025, the poll of polls. This is the big Delhi election exit poll of polls that we're counting down to. My colleague Hina Gambhir and I, Madhav Gopalakrishnan, will bring you all the major factors at play. Let's take a quick look at the next big factor, that of the middle class. And will that be a game changer for Delhi, where the voting pattern that has been seen in past elections as far as the middle class is concerned? Over to you, Hina.
Well, absolutely. Two categories of voters, in fact, Madhav. One is the women voters that all the political parties have tried to woo in this election. And second is the category of middle class. That's going to be very, very important. Remember, just a couple of days ago, we had the budget announcements, which had a big middle class bonanza. Of course, Delhi was not mentioned. But here is some data for our viewers to understand. This is the data from the year 2020, the last assembly elections in Delhi. And here's how, different categories voted for different political parties. For the Congress party, while we have seen, a dip happening almost in all the categories, poor, lower, middle, as well as rich. Now, all of them have seen a dip, and this, in fact, has moved to the Aam Aadmi Party. So the loss of Congress has been gained for the Aam Aadmi Party. This is the clear trend that we can see. 5 lost in the Congress and see a gain of, in fact, a loss, in fact, of 5. So both of them in the poor category have been advantaged Bharatiya Janata Party. But look at this lower and the middle class. While in 2020, we have seen a gain of about 2 for the Bharatiya Janata Party, 6 has been a gain for the Aam Aadmi Party, and that's why the number reached 63. For the middle class category as well, Bharatiya Janata Party had seen a gain of about 4 at 39, while Aam Aadmi Party had also seen a gain of about 2. So this category becomes extremely important for deciding, what is going to be the result this time around as well. The middle class, the women voters. Let's also now go across to Neoma Gupta, who is from the Bharatiya Janata Party, who's also live with us right now. Neoma Gupta, we have seen, all political parties trying their every possible bit to woo the voters clearly, but the middle class is an important factor, and we just had the budget announcement. Do you think that could help the Bharatiya Janata Party?
Good evening, ma'am. Thank you for having me on today's debate. For me, particularly, I'm going to speak is that across all constituencies and polling stations today, we are seeing a lot of enthusiasm among any voter who desires a change for Delhi. And I'm confident when it comes to the BJP, we will win the trust of the people this time for merely few points I'll make forward. We ran a concerted booth level plus overreaching campaign. We addressed the issues of the people. We gave a manifesto reflecting what the Delhi's needs were. We looked after the interest of all sections and did not make a single promise that we could not fulfill. Now, unlike AAP, we didn't resort to any desperate promises at the nth moment. And I'm sure this time when BJP is forming the government in Delhi with full majority, the city will now fully benefit from the schemes and programs of the central government, which was stopped like the Ayushman one and all. We will double down on the PM Swanidhi, Ayushman Bharat and everything. Now, putting it shortly, every day, they kept accusing and targeting us with things made up in their imagination, but they conveniently ignored something like how Atishi ji called people from outside Kalkaji to intimidate voters, and how they kept lying blatantly during the rallies by saying...
Okay, let's go into those charges one by one. Let's go to the middle class point first. Gaurav Chacha is national spokesperson of Samajwadi Party. Middle class हमें चुनाव जिता रही है, कह रही है नियोमा गुप्ता. सहमत हैं आप? Gaurav Chacha.
Hello.
Yes. Middle class is winning us the elections as BJP. Do you agree, sir?
जी, repeat करिए please.
अरे वो पूछ रहे कि बीजेपी
सर बीजेपी कह रही है कि
लोअर और मिडिल क्लास जैसे पहले ट्रेंड करता आया है आम आदमी पार्टी के आम आदमी के हक में वोटिंग करता हुआ आया है. अभी जैसे देखने को मिल रहा है कि वोटिंग परसेंटेज बहुत कम था, लेकिन शाम 5 बजे होते होते थोड़ा सा वोटिंग परसेंटेज बढ़ा है. अभी 1 घंटे का समय है. मैं आपके चैनल के माध्यम से दिल्ली की देवतुल जनता को आग्रह करूंगा, घर से निकलिए और वोट डाल के आइए. और जो रुझान आ रहे हैं, जो लोगों से पता लग रहा है, दिल्ली में अरविंद केजरीवाल ने पूर्ण बहुमत की सरकार का आंकड़ा पार कर चुके हैं.
All right.
देखिए 8 तारीख को
Yes, counting पूरी हुई नहीं है सर. Counting voting तो अभी हुई नहीं है, and in fact there is until 6 o'clock that people can actually go into a polling booth. But of course all those who reach by 6 o'clock, their votes will certainly be cast. And of course the update coming in at this point of time, Tejshri, the latest voting turnout is at 57.7%, and in fact it's very, very significant because Northeast is at 63.83%, Shadra at 61.35%, and this is the 5 o'clock figures that we're talking about. It could significantly rise from here. Tejshri.
Well, absolutely, that's a quite significant figure. In fact, if we talk about the early trends were very low, and it was just expected that the voter turnout will end up till 50%. But now, as of now, till 5 p.m., the voter turnout is 57.7%. And earlier trends were showing that the Babarpur constituency was witnessing the highest trend. But as of now, Northeast Delhi is witnessing the highest trend till 5 p.m. Further, we will have to see that what will be the voter turnout till 6 p.m. because the final turnout will be out by 6:30. So that turnout will be very much important because we'll have to see that how many people have come out and voted in the national capital as far as, in fact, for today's day is concerned. And in fact, if we talk about the New Delhi constituency from where we have been reporting since morning, yes, there have been footfall of the voters on several booths, but there have been no long queue. And in fact, we also spoke to the people here in New Delhi.
Will there be long queues now? Are they going to be coming in different areas, particularly where we've typically seen voter apathy? These are important questions. Tejshri, please keep giving us all those updates. Let's also cut across to Prithvi Reddy, because Prithvi Reddy, when the Aam Aadmi Party rode to power, whether it's 2014, 2015, we've always seen a higher vote turnout as far as the voters of Delhi are concerned, and that was read always as an anti-incumbency vote. If we do reach a higher voter turnout, and it certainly seems we're headed that way, are we looking at a potential anti-incumbency vote? Prithvi Reddy?
So, whether the vote is for us or against us, a high voter turnout is for democracy. So let's encourage as much voting as possible. I want to bring two things to your notice. Number one, when your channel was interviewing two women outside a polling booth who were clearly middle class or upper middle class, both of them said, Number two, you were talking about the recent budget and how it's helped the middle class. Less than 3% of India pay income tax. Amongst that 3%, less than 5% are in the bracket of 7 to 12 lakhs. So you're talking about 16 lakh people across the country. So if the BJP thinks that that's going to have an impact in Delhi, and the middle class who have always been with the Aam Aadmi and continue to be with the Aam Aadmi Party are going to switch because of that SOP in the budget, I think they're sadly mistaken.
Okay, but Delhi has about 67% middle class is the figure that's been cited. Coming to each of you on that, do you feel that Prithvi Reddy says we are overrating the middle class in Delhi? They are firmly with Aam Aadmi Party. JVC.
I don't see that, Madhav, because what has happened is the middle class has been fascinated with Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal in 2015. 2020, they were okay, they had some hope, okay, he's trying to do something. But in the last 5 years, the moment Aam Aadmi Party won the MCD polls, that is when the problem started for Aam Aadmi Party. Because they can no more shift the blame to anybody else. Because I have seen on ground, water is a problem. People have to buy water. The drainages, it's Rajouri Garden, go around and see the amount of garbage which is piled up. Because sanitation workers are not paid salaries. So these are real problems. If this voter turnout is going to be like this, I can tell you these are signs of anger election.
Okay. I also want to quickly touch upon the point of voter turnout. Last time, 2020, it was about 62.8 odd %. Now
I'll give you the exact figures.
Latest
by this time
is 57 odd % till 5 p.m. So I want to understand.
Hina, 1 minute. Just allow me to do this.
Yeah.
57.70 is the turnout at 5 p.m.
Till 5 o'clock. Yeah.
2015 it was 60%.
Yeah.
In 2020 it was 44.76. Later got revised to 57.87.
Okay.
So we have seen in Maharashtra, the voter turnout is only going to increase from now onwards.
So
you can
how should we
add
read
another
this?
13%.
How should we read this? Because Mustafabad, where we are seeing a four-cornered fight, Tushar first and then all of you, four-cornered fight in Mustafabad, that has seen the highest voter turnout. Constituencies like Karol Bagh and many, where you have rich and affluent people living, the percentage lower. Yeah.
Bagh has huge labor.
But the voter turnout has been the lowest.
There is
Tushar,
look, in Mustafabad, which was one of the 43 seats where BJP had more than 38% vote share in 2020, it's just an 11 percentage difference between Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP. Now you're looking at 10 years of anti-incumbency, you're looking for perks for the middle class, you're looking for anger against Arvind Kejriwal, and you're looking at a strong voter turnout. Is that enough to flip? We'll know at 7 p.m. We'll know when the final numbers come out. But Hina, one important point about the middle class. The middle class likes a revolution, it likes the drama until it hits their homes. In Delhi, everyone was celebrating the ISC revolution. I'm middle class, I'm in Delhi, I'm a resident, I can tell you this, I can validate this point. Everyone likes drama until it hits their home, it impacts their daily life. Now it was starting to impact their daily life every monsoon season. When they see their children breathing the same polluted air, despite Arvind Kejriwal's promises, the drama, the love for drama, that heartful chants for Arvind Kejriwal, all that sentiment evaporates. It's then down to practical, dispassionate voting.
Okay. I don't agree with this. First of all, I would like to counter the middle class thing, right? So corruption is one issue, yes. That is one part, but there is much more than that. Delhi voters are very intelligent for the last 50-40 years. They never vote on the basis of caste, they never vote on the basis of religion. And that is why Hindutva is not a plank in Delhi.
But then why did we have the Aam Aadmi Party then giving SOPs to Granthis and priests?
I'm telling you.
Why did we see something like that?
That is, I see, they have...
Okay, one at a time. Okay, one at a time.
I technically agree with Vivek. The Delhi voters are very intelligent. That's why they gave 0 seats to the Congress and AAP alliance in 2022.
Okay, Vivek.
First of all, as they said no caste factor, no Hindutva. Economics is what governs Delhi.
Okay.
Anti-corruption was a very good plank. That
then
is no longer a plan.
Why so many freebies, Sava? Then why, special spots for priests,
it's all, to make broad generalizations is a mistake. On the one hand, we'll say Jats and Gujars, that's a caste identity. So we cannot say that. In the outer areas, the vote is going more towards the BJP. The minute you hit rural parts, where they have more or less decided कि BJP को देना, and they were already, in any case, the BJP was strong in those areas. The question about Delhi is that obviously the people know what they're doing. They know who benefits them. Whether it's the poor, which does not get, they know what benefits they have. There is this miracle of this electricity that we all get, which there used to be long power cuts. There's no doubt about that. That impacts all the classes. Our building no longer needs generators. That's a big thing. The minute you switch over to Haryana places, people have to run through generators. It's a fact in Delhi. So that is one factor. But the point, there is this middle class thing. The catch here is that Arvind's seat is probably going to get affected by that. Because that is the seat where you have government servants.
Okay.
You have smaller pockets.
So the pay commission.
Pay commission. The bureaucracy also knows that ultimately the BJP is here.
But I want to bring in Shekhar here on a very important point. Shekhar here, whenever we talk about, urban apathy, whether it's Bangalore, whether it's Bombay, I mean, name any of our big cities, it's always there. The richest of the seats see the worst of the turnouts. So if this middle class factor has to work for the BJP, then all of those middle class who are used to sitting in their drawing rooms and groaning over cups of tea actually have to go out and vote. Is that happening in this election? Do you see that happening?
I think it's better than the previous time. And what is, I wouldn't describe the voters are angry with Arvind Kejriwal, but they're exasperated. Exasperated the sin, "Arey yaar."
Do you think Sheesh Mahal,
that kind of thing?
So
what defines exasperation? What defines exasperation?
Constant Apada attack, Sheesh Mahal, jibe. Do you think that can have an impact?
No, but Sheesh Mahal has delivered a powerful blow on Kejriwal. And he has come out of that controversy more as a clever guy rather than a sincere person. In 2013 and 2015, he was a sincere guy. But today he's seen as more clever.
No, but can I also...
let me bring in the AAP spokesperson on that.
I want to make one more point. What I found people when they are poor, when you actually engage with them in the slums, it's transactional. Is he in a position to do this now? That was a little bit of the concern in some Dalit bastis. ये कहते रहे ये हमारा झाड़ू पे जाता है, लेकिन क्या ये अब कर पाएंगे? The diminished powers. That was a question that the BJP.
What more did the Aam Aadmi Party really offer? Maybe that's the point that you're trying to make.
Would you like to respond to those questions?
And then Tehseen Poonawala.
Prithvi Reddy, would you like to quickly respond to those questions?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm unable to see who just spoke with me, but the gentleman was saying Delhi is not influenced as much with the caste and religious vote. I agree with him completely, and I think people must keep in mind that over the past 10 years, there have been in excess of 15 lakh children who have passed out of our government schools. Even if you consider 3 to 4 votes per student in their family, you're talking about 60 lakh votes. And I think these are things that people are tending to ignore, that there are a lot of accusations being made against Mr. Kejriwal, but there is this huge section of beneficiaries who are completely in love with Mr. Kejriwal because he has changed their life.
Beneficiaries who will see us through. Quick response to what's being stated by the AAP spokesperson.
If the Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal ji was so confident, he wouldn't be making baseless, reckless allegations. The first allegation was his life is under threat. The BJP is planning to have him assassinated, and the Delhi police is going to assassinate him. The second was there's going to be a mass murder and genocide in Delhi. None of these charges have been collaborated. If he was so confident of winning, nobody in the right frame of confidence would make these charges. These are very serious charges. One, an assassination. Second, a mass murder and genocide.
BJP, anything is possible. You also know that.
Are you? Look, Vivek. Come on, Vivek.
All right.
Now you will say I'm flip, but I will say I'm flip, but BJP.
I told you before everyone else. Before everyone else, I told you what Tehseen is going to do on the show. Slipping into a quick break. We're coming back. We're coming back.
Slip into
we have to get a quick break.
Short commercial break. I know. Well,
Okay.
of course,
One by
there's
one,
plenty of
please, yeah.
time for that. But I'd like to thank all my guests for joining us. We'll slip into a very, very short break. But viewers, don't go anywhere. Navika Kumar joins you next.